Pride cometh before the fall, folks. Trust me, I know this very, very well. I can speak on this very, very well. And you know what we're seeing with Candace Owens? Is it me, or do we see sheer arrogance and pridefulness? That's what I see. And, you know, I can't really say it about Tucker Carlson, but I'm definitely seeing it in Candace Owens. And it's almost like a taunting behavior, like, come on, come get me, come on. And I got to tell you, these people, as smart as they are, and I'm going to give them credit for that, as smart as they are, don't understand the operation behind Trump, the 200 generals that invited Trump to run. Society of Cincinnati. Got that from Pete Santilli, by the way. This is an operation, and what these podcasters are literally playing with fire. I don't think they understand it's a military operation, and normal rules do not apply. And I'm just going to say that right now. Playing with fire, absolute fire. And pride cometh before the fall. Folks, notifications, hit the notification button, like, share, subscribe. Venmo, 𝗬𝗏ROD 1977, 𝗬ROD 1977. Please leave a nice little token, and I'll answer any question you have, whatever. I feel like a stripper sometimes, like an internet stripper. When the lights go out on Amazon, please leave an honest review. And also my mama's book, The Mexican Mix, on Amazon as well. Please leave an honest review. And Noble Gold, folks, get your Noble Gold. If you could go back in time and buy oil before the world relied on it, would you do it? Of course you would. Everybody would. So why aren't you buying silver right now? That's where it's all going. Silver powers solar panels, electric vehicles, AI, and the data centers that I hate, by the way. The data centers running our digital world, or our digital prison. Demand is climbing, yet it's still affordable enough to start buying today, which you should get on it, folks. Don't be that person who looks back in 10 years and says, I saw it coming, I just didn't act. I'm telling you, folks, you got to jump on this. Noble Gold is the place to go. I trust it. I get my gold and silver there. NobleGoldInvestments.com. NobleGoldInvestments.com, folks. Get started on it today. I got to tell you, man, they are consistent. Anything I order comes straight to my door. I sign for it. Really good stuff, man. I highly recommend Noble Gold. Also, folks, Nino'sCorner.shop. I got hoodies. I got caps. I got T-shirts. It's all there. It is all there. Nino'sCorner.shop. Mugs, a sticker sheet. A sticker sheet. I'm sure some of you, I don't know, maybe you could put a sticker on your fridge, maybe on your bumper sticker. Maybe I should make some bumper stickers. That'd be cool. Also, folks, Nino'sCorner.tv, still fire. Wednesday. Damn. Is it today? Is today Wednesday? Holy cow, I'm off. Today is Ringside with Nino. Wow. I thought it was tomorrow. No, it's today. Ringside with Nino. Damn, today already? Yep, we're doing Ringside with Nino today. I'll see you folks there tonight, 5 p.m. Never too late to subscribe and get on there. My whole Black Sheep family, we're all going to be there talking about the fraud summit, what's happening in Vegas. We'll be talking about a lot of the things that are happening with Tulsi Gabbard that I'm hearing. A lot of big stuff. So I'll see you there at Ringside with Nino. Also, the sale is still up. Folks, you can just pay once and be done with it. I'm keeping that up. People seem to really like this option, so I'm keeping it up. So there you go. Nino'sCorner.tv. Pete Santilli's up right now. Joshua Reed. These guys are all going to be in Vegas. I don't know if Joshua Reed is, but Joshua Reed is up on Nino'sCorner.tv right now. Wano Saban, we know he's going to be there. Susan Kokinda. I just had her up on YouTube. A lot of you like her. I think I'm going to bring her on again as a reoccurring guest. She's fire, right? I don't see it the same way she does in a lot of aspects, because I think we have a very unique view here on Nino'sCorner.tv. We have a different kind of view that it's an operation. That's kind of where I stand on this. And understanding strategy as a fighter, I definitely see it that way. Elizabeth April's coming back on. And the Ghost, folks. The Ghost is going to be back on soon. I got to get a hold of him and bring him back on. And without further ado, you might want to turn it down or turn it up, baby. Yeah. Let's go. You know, I'm kind of thinking like, they're having me host this summit, right? Or in Vegas. And I'm thinking to myself, everybody knows I don't like to go to these events. Everybody knows I like to bounce in, bounce out. They kind of trapped me on this one. They cornered me. But I'm going to do it anyway. Give it my best shot. I'm going to give it my best shot, you know. I'm very much off the cuff, folks. I really don't have anything ever planned, written down. Peterson Tilly called me the other day. He goes, Dave, you got to get some note cards. You're going to be in charge of the time. You're going to be in charge of this. You're going to be in charge of that. I'm like, I am? Wow, that sounds like a lot of work. But we'll see. I'll do the best I can, folks. This is going to be a spectacle. I'll tell you that much. All right, turn it down or turn it up, folks. Here we go. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, baby. Yeah. Don't make me do this at the Fraud Summit, please. Maybe I will. Coming at you live from Las Vegas, baby. Live from Las Vegas. How many of you are going to hit the roulette table with me? See, I'm more concerned about that. I'm like, hey, I want to go to the roulette table. I want to throw down some bets. Hey, yo. Might even go to the sports book. I don't know. I like to get around in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo. Hey, Rocco. All right, so here we go. Tucker 2028. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Candace in Russia. The Republican Civil War just went global, folks. All right, let's get into this, man. And I'm telling you, this does not, and I promise you, I look, a lot of you, you're full of it, Rodriguez. Well, I think I've been over the target at least with my guests. Who said first before there was any inclination that Kamala Harris is going to run? Who knew that a year and a half before? We did. Nobody else did. Nobody else did. Only our niche little group of podcasters. 𝗬𝗏 put it out there, said, yeah, Biden's going to be Democrat Party and we're going to push Kamala Harris to run. How did you know? How would we know that a year before it happened? I'm telling you, folks, we're onto something here. I'm telling you now, midterms aren't going to be what the Democrats expect. This is going in a different way. Also, all the podcasters jumping ship. It's not going to work out for you. We have been over the target 90% of the time, and I'm going with that. I put it out on X. I've asked my audience I've done an honest survey, even with the bots, even with the trolls, and I've gotten a 90% approval rating, folks. That's pretty damn good. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏TV is on fire. And I'm telling you now, the midterms are going to be way different than anyone expects. The whole Democrat playbook is going to go into the fire pit, going to get flushed down the toilet. It is not going to turn out the way they believe. They are going to be done. It's over for them. The worst of the worst is going to happen to these people. They don't see it coming. They think it's all fun and games. It's not. You think you can just cheat, do the shit you're doing. It's going to come back and bite you in the ass. You're going to see that this little guy on YouTube over here, hey, not so little, is right. Is right. But hey, whatever. So one thing I can say about Candace is she's become unwatchable for me. The arrogance is oozing out of every pore of her body. It's just her arrogance is off the charts. And I will say this only because I know firsthand, pride cometh before the fall. Let's say that again. Pride cometh before the fall, folks. It's the truth. It's what happens when people get too arrogant. So something very interesting is happening on the American right. And whether you support Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, or none of the above, the political landscape is shifting beneath our feet. This is happening right now. For years, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens were viewed as media personalities, commentators, influencers, culture warriors, but today they're becoming something much, much bigger, and this is why it's dangerous. They're becoming movements onto themselves, and I mean this. And now whispers are beginning to grow louder. Could Tucker Carlson actually be positioning himself for a future presidential run? Tucker publicly dismisses this idea. He says politics isn't what he does. He says the nation, the notion that a successful television host should automatically become president is disgusting. But here's the reality, folks. Millions of Americans listen to Tucker every day, and his influence now rivals many elected officials. Now imagine out of the blue comes a Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens ticket. Just saying. Imagine that. Or a Candace Tucker ticket. This would divide MAGA big time. And let me tell you, take the steam away from Vance. The Republican establishment certainly hasn't forgotten. At the Republican Jewish Coalition Gala, Senator Ted Cruz warned of what he called an existential crisis with the Republican Party as figures like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens continue to build enormous audiences outside the traditional political structure. Others have openly attacked Carlson, viewing him as a direct threat to the party's future direction. But while Tucker dominates, listen to this, while Tucker dominates conversations here at home, Candace Owens is making headlines halfway across the world. This is going global. This week, Candace Owens appeared in Russia during the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, an event often described as Russia's version of Davos. All right, so there you go. She's attending the Russian version of Davos. And the timing couldn't be more significant, folks. Russia faces growing economic pressure. Ukrainian drone attacks are striking infrastructure. Reports suggest public frustration is rising. Yet, as Vladimir Putin seeks to project strength and stability to the world, some of America's most recognizable online personalities suddenly appear on Russian soil. Now, there's nothing wrong in that, right? You can go to Russia, you can do what you got to do, but what are the motives? Why is she and like I said, this is not illegal. She can do this. A lot of you are eating her alive saying, oh, she shouldn't be doing that. She shouldn't be doing that. She can do this, folks. She can go where she wants and be where she wants, report on what she wants. She can absolutely do this. Candace Owens, the Tate brothers, influencers with massive global reach, folks. Internet personalities to the moon. Was this simply travel? Was it business? Or was it something larger? A symbolic moment showing how political influence is increasingly shifting away from governments and toward independent media figures. This is where this could be going. Experts argue the Kremlin gains a propaganda victory simply by showcasing well-known Americans inside Russia, creating the perception of a thaw in relations between Moscow and Washington, even if no such thaw truly exists. And that's the bigger story here. The bigger story here is this. We're entering into an era where podcasters, influencers, and independent media personalities may wield more influence than senators, governors, and even political parties themselves, which to me, I mean, you already know all the politicians, presidents are selected, not elected. All the politicians are crooked. They're paid for, bought and paid for. They don't know their head from their ass. They don't. But the old gatekeepers are losing control, folks. The old system's coming down. It's completely coming down. And a new system is arising. The question is no longer whether Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens influence politics. The question is how much influence will they ultimately have and control? They have troves of people, millions of people. I mean, if you look at Candace Owens' viewership, she's up to 1 million in just a matter of hours. And if Tucker Carlson ever changed his mind about running for office, he could be a serious fucking threat. Just saying that right now. He could be a threat like you have no idea. Would the Republican establishment be able to stop him? I don't think so. And I believe if Tucker or Candace decides to throw their hat in the ring, that's going to shake up politics big time and could ruin Vance's chances. So some Jewish Republicans say Tucker Carlson's threat is diminished. Others fear presidential run. So Carlson has said that politics is not what I do, adding the whole idea of I've been a successful cable news host. I shouldn't be president. Or no, he said, sorry, let me take that back. The whole idea of I've been a successful cable news host, I should be president, the whole way of thinking is disgusting to me. So he did say that. But at the Republican Jewish Coalition's annual gala last November, much of the discussion centered around right-wing anti-Semitism. Texas Senator Ted Cruz warned, and let me tell you, I'm not a fan of Ted Cruz. I think he's a deep state piece of shit. I look at Ted Cruz, he's bought and paid for, just like all the rest of them, folks. He's no different. I'm not taking sides here on this. They're all disgusting to me. I'm going to say that right now. They're all disgusting to me. Ted Cruz warned that there was an existential crisis in our party as figures such as Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Nick Fuentes built their online audience, while right-wing firebrand rep Randy Fine of Florida slammed Carlson as an anti-Semite. At the RJC's America's 250 Gala 6 months later, the mood was cheerier, and the cautionary words gave way to declarations that energizing anti-Semitism on the right was being dealt with properly. So this is like the new movement, everything against Israel. That's why, folks, I say it's very important to see how Trump handles this next. It's very important to see what Trump does with Israel, because let me tell you, folks, it's got everybody with a very bad taste in their mouth. People don't like it. People can see it until Trump proves them wrong, which I'm waiting on. Yep, you know me. I got my I'm seeing strategy. I'm waiting to see how Trump plays Israel here, but if he doesn't, it's game on, folks. It's game on. Candace and Tucker are definitely going to have their soapbox, and they're going to be able to sway voters a completely different direction. Are we saving Israel for last? Well, I'm going to leave that up for you guys. I leave that up to the audience. I believe, I think, I kind of see it going that direction. But hey, folks, I've been wrong before. I'm telling you, folks, this is it's getting hot, and coming into the midterms and into 2028, this is going to escalate like you've never seen. It's going to get hot, and much hotter. Candace Owens and the Tate brothers. Now, this to me is like, I see what they're doing here. I can see it a mile away. Candace Owens and the Tate brothers turned up in Russia, so I didn't know the Tate brothers went with her, actually. The Kremlin spun it as a thaw. So whatever does that mean? I don't know. U.S. influencers and an administration official arrived in Russia just as Vladimir Putin, the country's president, needed a publicity boost. And this sure did give him a publicity boost. The small group of Americans flew in as the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, the SPIEF, often dubbed Russian Davos, opened on June 3rd in the port city. The annual conference serves as a promotional vehicle for the country as Putin seeks to project strength and global power. Officials say this year they are receiving 20,000 guests from over 100 countries, with 76 countries sending high-level representatives. Putin has increasingly faced setbacks on the battlefield as a Ukrainian drone strike campaign disrupts critical logistic routes and public support at home, warns. So the forum opened to plumes of black smoke rising above St. Petersburg. But if you listen to Candace Owens on her show, she says, no. It's beautiful in St. Petersburg. Moscow was lovely. She wants to go back, which I've heard. My sister's gone there. I know a lot of people that have been to Russia. They say it's absolutely beautiful. It's the most gorgeous place to visit, from what I've heard. They have a very set Christian value. It's not like America, folks. Not like this woke garbage here in America. It's very beautiful. It's very Christian. It's very conservative. It's a whole different world over there. It's not what it's projected to be, what people are projecting it to be. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. But they want the propaganda value of implying that there's some kind of economic thaw between the United States and Russia, which is not really the case, said Michael Kimmage, the director of the Kennan Institute at Wilson Center, a nonprofit policy research organization. So Candace and Tucker seem to be making some different moves. I got to say that I'm watching this as we approach 2028. And yeah, it would be to throw the scent off, throw the smell off. Of course, they would say, nah, we're not interested in running. That's not what I do. Kind of downplay it a little bit. But I think there's something here. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And a lot of people are thinking that Tucker could make a move. Candace could make a move. And they're all making the right steps. I don't know what you all think. Put it in the chat. Tell me what you believe, because I think they're making the right. I think they're jockeying for position for something bigger. That's just what I see. Now we're years off, but I kind of see it going this direction. Now, let's get to what happened in California. Okay, so 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹, the one that came from behind. Incredible. She's the comeback kid. Progressive who bested Spencer Pratt eyes Hollywood ending. So now all the articles are coming out. All the syndicates are writing about her like, wow, what a Hollywood ending. Can you believe it? How impressive. Comeback kid. She came from behind and won with all the mail-in ballots. All the mail-in ballots. Spencer Pratt didn't get one. There she is. Look at that smile. The $1 million smile right there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. You came from behind. You knocked everybody out. You're the champ. Now Hollywood's behind you, right? There's your first sign right there, folks. Hollywood. 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗶 mayoral race by entering hours before the deadline, and now faces one-time political ally. So she's going against Karen Bass. They've knocked Spencer Pratt out. On election night, 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹 seemed as if she was prepared to lose the second spot in the Los Angeles mayoral race to the reality star Spencer Pratt, whose viral campaign appeared to track to upend the contest. Many thousands of voters will be counted in the days ahead, and we may not get an answer we like. But regardless of what happens next, nobody can take away what all of us have built together. 𝗁𝗁, a progressive Democrat who sits on the LA City Council, told her supporters. Now, in a twist of fate for Hollywood, it is 𝗁𝗁 who will be advancing to the November election to face off against her one-time political ally, incumbent Mayor Karen Bass, for the chance to lead the second largest city in the U.S. The fix is in. And now they're gonna make her the Hollywood darling, the comeback kid. This is all happening right now, folks. It was a shakeup in a race that has been defined by the unexpected. 𝗁𝗁 rocked the Los Angeles political establishment in February when she threw in her hat in the ring hours ahead of the deadline and just weeks after endorsing Bass in her re-election campaign. So she endorses Bass, of course, and then runs against Bass and knocks out Spencer Pratt. There you go. That's the story. The comeback kid. All mail-in ballots. All of it mail-in ballots. But, folks, for me, this is important because we all watch this horrifically, watching this, just laughing. It's actually very comedic. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They don't care that you watched it. They don't care. This is how arrogant they have become. This is how arrogant the power structure has become in America. They don't care that you know. They don't care. They don't care. That's why something needs to be done, and I think this is set precedence for Trump to make the move. So in my mind, Spencer Pratt did his job. He absolutely did his job. He did what he could do, and he served his purpose. God used him in this way. I really believe it. And now, whatever move Trump makes, people in California are going to be like, yes, please. Hurry this up, please. Hurry it up, please. We don't want to wait any longer. But timing's everything. In boxing, there's an old saying, you got to dress him up before you take him out. Strategy, precision, you got to be surgical. Like boxing, that's why I understand this. You have to do everything in the right course of time and with surgical precision. And that's what I see happening with Trump. I think he's going to wait for the right time. You know, Juanito says he's going to declare a national security emergency. Okay, let's see. I think this is going to happen. I feel like this is probably the next move, and the country will understand why, because they all watched what just happened in California. You couldn't script this any better. You could not script this any better, folks. It's almost like it's divine. And as ugly as it is right now and as horrific as it is that we all watched, it's perfect. It's perfect. Because now people will understand whatever Trump's do, whatever Trump does, they will look back and say, well, yeah, I mean, shit, yeah. You know what? We were all voting for Spencer Pratt. So to me, it's almost like this is divine. I see it as divine for what Trump needs to do next. I think he has the permission, especially from the people of California. How's everybody doing today? Gotta have my coffee. Sorry, I started out a little late today. But I had a rough night sleeping. Man, a lot of stuff going on with my parents, as always. And it's really taking the wind out of my sails. It's been really rough. So allegedly, this is what I'm hearing. I saw this on X. Allegedly, breaking radio stations in Los Angeles are calling for the removal of Mayor Karen Bass. California is finally waking up, and that is why I think this is so important. This is why I believe Spencer Pratt played a very important role, folks. He woke up California. And now radio stations are going on air demanding Karen Bass to resign. The removal of Karen Bass. Make California great again. So, we're going to see a lot of shift and changes as we come into the midterms, folks. You're going to see people claiming, Candace and Tucker dividing the right even further and further and further. Fuentes. I mean, it's going to get really messy. This is going to get ugly. I don't know how many of you agree with me, but I mean, I think common sense, we all know this is getting uglier by the day. And when Tulsi Gabbard comes out and talks about the cheat, 2020, Russiagate, the whole thing, my question is, and always has been, okay, how is MSN going to spin this? How are they going to take what Trump delivers and not call him a liar and not saying he's trying to be a tyrannical dictator? They're already saying he has no basis for anything he says. You saw when he walked out on the interview of, I think, NBC, ABC, whatever it was the other day, when he walked out on her, she kept saying, well, you don't have any, this is all blatant, just, there's no factual evidence. Okay, Mr. Like, she talked to President Trump like he was a fucking third grader. Like, okay, you don't have any evidence for that. You're like dismissing the president. No wonder he walked off set. No wonder he took off. I would have too, and then he stepped on the mic. Hopefully that was on purpose. But the way she dismissed him and made him look like a fool, folks, when this shit comes out with Tulsi Gabbard, I'm going to guarantee you, they're going to downplay it and say that Trump is cheating, that Trump is the liar. So when that happens, and I'm telling you it's going to happen, we're at war with MSN. How ugly is this going to get is my question. How ugly do you all see this getting? Put it in the chat. Let me know, how bad do you see this getting? Because I see it getting really ugly. Because if we're going against the MSN, they're going to play this 20, 30, 50, 100 different ways. 100 different ways than the real truth. So is Tulsi Gabbard going to have a press conference? Is she going to come out and just lay it all out there? Does this go military immediately afterwards? Does Trump declare a national security emergency? I want to know the steps on this. I really want to know the steps on this, and that's why I bring guests on Nino'sCorner.tv, because I really want to get to the bottom of this. I feel like MSN, public enemy number one, this is going to be tough. This is going to be a tough battle, and the people that watch it, forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. So Barack Obama was using USAID to pretend to send money to a country for aid, and instead laundering it to the Cayman Islands. He would then use that money to fund and train rent-a-riots. to protest to overthrow governments. Sound familiar? Mike Pence on Joe Rogan, a scandal during the Obama USAID era. We were running a number of rogue USAID operations in Cuba at that time. I'm simply showing the American people where your tax dollars are going and how these things are structured in order to systematically fool you and to fool Congress and to fool the White House. USAID pumped $1.2 billion in, and we sponsored these activist groups and these civil society organizations to learn how to use Facebook, learn how to use Twitter, learn how to use the hashtags, learn how to coordinate street protests so everyone knows where to go, what street to show up on, what kind of slogans to know, to use in order to create the pro-democracy predicate for it. So these have all been structured and engineered, which we all know. He talks about how Obama funded a Twitter clone that would be used to push propaganda in Cuba to inspire these protests and overthrow the government. Mike Pence explains how Barack Obama overthrew many, many governments, by the way. So what they did is they took the exact same thing as Twitter, same user interface, same like and retweet button. 𝗬𝗠𝗎𝗓 is the Cuban slang word for hummingbird. So just it means it's a bird. It was the Twitter bird, the whole thing, but the whole trick about it was you have to make it look like it's something from the Cubans if you're going to do it, if you're going to do this operation. You got to make it look organic. You got to make it look natural. We can get into the deeper layers of this, but Connections contractors were funded by who? USAID, and that is why Trump took them out first, folks. That's why it was the first phase of this operation. And with that being said, folks, get your My Digital Money, baby. You know, I finally opened an account with My Digital Money recently because I wanted some exposure outside the traditional system. And honestly, I was surprised how easy it was. I thought crypto was going to be complicated, wallets, passwords, all that tech stuff. But it took just a few minutes to get started. And anytime I had a question, I could actually call and talk to a real person here in the U.S. And that's big for me. Not from China or Taiwan or India. None of that. Got a real person from the United States. What also gave me peace of mind is these are the same owners as Noble Gold Investments who I've worked with for years. I hear firsthand how they treat people, and I trust these guys. I absolutely do. I know Colin Plume personally. Your assets are held in a cold storage, completely offline, with a qualified U.S. custodian that's been around since 1974. Look, with inflation, government spending, and everything happening right now, I think it makes sense to diversify part of your retirement outside the traditional system. That's all I'm saying. If you already have an IRA, they can help you transfer part of it over, or you can start with cash. Go to mydigitalmoney.com now. Click the link below and get started on it, folks. I promise you, you will not be sorry. You got to start diversifying. All right. So we got a low audience today. Isn't that a bummer? What do you think, Alex? I got to tell you.
Yeah, a little lower today, but
a little lower, but I guess Candace and Tucker are not a hit. I'm not going to take the blame for this one. Oh, all right. Let's get into it. Golden age of health. Here we come, baby. So I'm telling you, the whole system's coming down. The whole system's coming down. The whole old structure, the whole archaic medical system, it's all crumbling. And we're going into a golden age. But it's going to be a fight. It's absolutely going to be a fight. I think it's going to be a fight all the way to 2030. I do. I think Trump is he set the tone, but folks, we're going to have to continue this fight ourselves. So golden age of health, here we come. Kennedy announces several major reforms that will help reshape the future of American medicine. 9 of the nation's leading medical accreditors, certifying boards, testing organizations, and educational institutions are taking action to put nutrition back at the center of medical education. So obviously prevention, right? We all know to prevent. That's why I do the red light therapy, the methylene blue. I take certain peptides. I'm trying, folks, my best. I want to stick around. I know all the shit that I've done to my body. I treated it like an amusement park. It was pretty fun, though. But 19 additional medical schools have signed the Trump administration's nutritional education pledge. So that's huge. That's big to me. Hey, yo. Also, folks, CERN. I'm kind of looking at the chat here. I see a lot of people going off. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So CERN closing until 2030. Is this true? I saw this blasted all social media. I'm like, wow, CERN is closing? Huh. Interesting. Why would they be closing CERN? So I looked into it. So is CERN closing until 2030? Well, the claim is it's partly true. But it's often presented with misleading people online. So here we go. The Large Hadron Collider, the 𝗪𝗓𝐶, is scheduled to stop physics operations at the end of June 2026, with June 29th often cited as the final day before the shutdown begins. Now, you all know about CERN, right? You all know that they had a ceremony, a seance, a ritual before they opened it. It's a very demonic portal. I believe it's a demonic portal. I believe it opens other dimensions. That's what I think this whole thing is. However, CERN itself is not shutting down. CERN will remain fully operational, with thousands of scientists and engineers working on upgrades, experiments, computing, and construction projects. What is happening is the long shutdown 3LS3, a major upgrade period to transform the 𝗪𝗓𝐶 into high luminosity. So I guess they're upgrading it. I guess you could say they're upgrading it. This is dangerous, in my opinion. The upgrade is expected to last about 4 years, with the upgraded collider returning around 2030, right on time for Agenda 2030. See, this to me is like, man, they're messing with antimatter, particles, the God particle. Folks, this doesn't end well, okay? So they're upgrading it for the next 40 years, and by 2030, it's going to be fully operational, and it's going to be a lot stronger. So there you go. So they are closing it down for now, but just to improve it for Satan. Yeah. Oh, right. So killing the mood, folks. Are you just not in the mood anymore? Do you just feel like your libido is down? Well, smartphones reduce birth rate, studies say, as governments around the world struggle with ways to reverse plunging birth rates. New U.S. study suggests they have ignored a key culprit, the smartphone. Is the phone actually birth control? No, you know what I think is birth control? Birkenstock sandals with socks. Or if you ride a moped, you may have a problem. That's why I think that's birth control. But they're saying, no, it's the smartphone. Is the iPhone birth control? Asked a paper published Monday by the National Bureau of Economic Research delved in why U.S. fertility rates have fallen by 22% since 2007. Well, you know, folks, it's the liberal movement. It's the whole feminist LGBTQ movement. That's why birth rates are dropping. All by design, all engineered. That's why it's dropping. But let's go with this. And I don't think, and I would imagine the phone is to blame to a degree. I mean, most people are on their phone. You see people that are married, couples, whatever, leaning on each side of their bed, just looking at the phone, not even talking to each other anymore. You go to restaurants, people are on their phones. Families that are out for dinner, their kids are on the phone, they're on the phone. This has definitely disrupted and, in my mind, ruined society. And I absolutely believe phones have ruined society. And I believe it was designed to do so. It was designed to do so. Now everybody is now an addict. If you're on your phone most of the day, you're an addict. You're an addict. You can't say, oh, you're a drinker, you're an addict, or you're a smoker, you're an addict. If you're on your phone multiple times a day, you're an addict. You are an addict. For a while, experts linked the decline to the recession that struck in 2008 when the global financial system nearly imploded, driving millions of people into hardship. But when the economy picked up, a rebound in births never came. No, it didn't. Myriad other reasons have been positioned. such as increased use of contraception, more female education, and growing housing or child care costs. However, no clear cause has been established. So Middlebury College economist Caitlin Myers and her student 𝗬𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗓 tested a hypothesis that smartphones, which emerged with the arrival of the first iPhone in 2007, might have something to do with it. Until 2011, iPhones were available from a single U.S. cellular network, AT&T, so they compared U.S. counties and had near universal AT&T coverage with those that had little or none during those years. They found that access to the iPhone correlated with reductions in birth rates by 4.5 to 8.0% at ages 15 to 19, which I think is good, and by 3.2 to 6.6% at ages 20 to 24. There were also statistically significant but smaller declines among older women. While they stressed that iPhones are not the sole cause, the introduction of the smartphone played a sizable role in the decline of U.S. births. Do you guys believe that? I think so. I think these fucking things are ruining humanity. I think they are. It just makes everything so much more accessible. You're distracted all the time. I mean, human connection, human interaction has gone down the drain. Tell me I'm wrong, folks. Tell me I'm wrong. Health risks of alcohol accelerate after one drink a day, study finds. So this is why I quit drinking. A lot of people are like, dude, you could have one drink. You could have 2 drinks a day. You could chill out. I just feel like, no, I can't. And that, for me, it's like, what do they say? 2 drinks is too many, 12 is not enough, something like that. Yeah, it's true. The alcohol industry has criticized research which found that even light drinking increases the risks of premature death. So even light drinking, which they tell you is good for you. Oh, you can have a glass of wine. You can have a beer. They're saying here that no, actually it's not. It'll kill you. A government alcohol study published on Tuesday concluded that the health risks of alcohol start at a single drink a day. The report was caught up in controversy after drawing the line of the alcohol industry for the alcohol industry. At 1 drink a day, the researchers found there was an increased risk of premature death from an illness or injury directly attributable to alcohol, though it was small, 1 in 1,000 people. But the risk of premature death jumped to, 1 in 25 for those who had 2 drinks a day. So 1 in 25 for a premature death who just have 2 drinks a day, a level long considered safe for men, according to the study, which was published in the Journal of Studies of Alcohol and Drugs. The alcohol intake and health study was one of the 2 reports commissioned during the Biden administration to inform and update to the U.S. dietary guidelines. So if you're having 1 or 2 drinks a day, you're 1 in 25 for a premature death. Wow. And most people have more than that, right? Most people think, well, I can have 3, 4, whatever. I'm telling you, folks, casual drinker, you still have a 1 in 25 risk in dying, study says. This is crazy. So Steven Spielberg, let's get to Steven Spielberg for a second. Says New Disclosure Day film. So here's what I think about this. The New Disclosure Day film will raise theological questions. Theological questions have Christians questioning their religion. Director Steven Spielberg suggested during on Sunday interview that this new film about extraterrestrials might raise theological questions among some Christians regarding the nature of the cosmos. Speaking with Turner Classic Movies host Ben McLevitz on CBS News Sunday morning, Spielberg said Disclosure Day, his upcoming movie about a meteorologist and a cybersecurity expert exposing the government's cover-up of extraterrestrial secrets, will touch on the implications such a revelation would have for religious people. It will bring down religious organizations. So here's where I think this is coming from. So obviously, we know Steven Spielberg is a shitbag. We know that he's a deep state player, right? We all know this. My audience knows this. So if they can't control the narrative with the fake alien invasion, what would be the next big move? What would be the next move for the deep state? If they know that Trump is taking the alien card away from them, well, You hire someone like Steven Spielberg to put out a movie like this. That's what you do. There you go. You're welcome, folks. So that's what this movie is, purely propaganda, in my opinion, because they don't have the alien card anymore, so they need to put it out in Hollywood. Or they have the alien card that they're getting ready to play later, and they got to tell you before they do it. And that's what this movie is purely about. It's satanic and it's demonic. And that's how I see this. So Steven Spielberg is being used as the mouthpiece, directing these shit movies to put out there as some kind of form of disclosure, to put it out there. They must tell you before they do it, folks. This is how they avoid the karma. So that's what this is right here. That's how I see this getting played out. Steven Spielberg is just being used to push the alien agenda. That's what this guy's being used for. And what do they want to do? Take down Christianity. He said it himself. He said it himself. It will have Christians questioning their faith. Well, there you go, folks. There you go. There's the objective. So that makes me really wonder now, are these extraterrestrials from other planets? You know, I have many different guests on that talk about this stuff. Or are they the fallen? Are they truly the fallen? Are they the fallen angels? I got to tell you, folks, the more I look into this, the more I lean into the fallen, the more I lean into the Nephilim. I'm not saying there's not other races out there, planets or what. I'm not saying that, but I know this doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to me. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that I think they're getting ahead of the ball with this movie. Let me know if you agree with me. Put it in the comments. I'd love to see what you all think. Hey, yo. All right. UFO whistleblower David Gsich says the United States government has knowledge of at least 4 different types of non-human intelligence. What are they? Some are bipedal life with physical bodies. Others are sentient plasmoid life. All right, so what the hell is that? Let's think about this. Plasmoid life, like light. So consciousness doesn't have to be in a body, contained in a body. It can be in plasma. It can be in light. Consciousness, that tells you right now that it doesn't just live in the brain. Plasma. So you're telling me these intelligent creatures or beings are plasma? This is crazy. So that would also explain apparitions, spirits, demons, angels, the whole thing. If you ask me, others are sentient plasmoid life. A bipedal life form is a 2-legged human-like physical being. A sentient plasmoid life form is a hypothetical intelligent plasma energy entity with no solid body. With no solid body. He says the secrecy began in 1954 under President Eisenhower. Now, I bring Laura Eisenhower on a lot to talk about this stuff. But just think about that for a second. So they know for a fact that consciousness doesn't have to be contained in a bipedal body, in a brain. It could be in a sentient plasmoid life form. That to me is very profound, because that to me speaks on spiritual levels to me. I don't know about you all folks. Let me know what you all think. But to me, I think that goes into the spiritual realm. If just my opinion. All right, let's get to some super chats, Alex. Let's get to some super chats. Let's see what's there, man. Let's go. Kelly Paneski, you are always here. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Super sticker, thank you. Lou Sparkman, thank you so much. Super sticker. Hey, yo, thank you. What is that? Susan Shat. You will do just fine at the live event you're hosting. I heard Juan is streaming it. Do you know which platform he is using? No, I don't. I heard, actually, hold on. Let me get this for you, because his chief of staff just sent me his chief of staff just sent me who's going to be there streaming it, and I'll tell you that right now. Let me find it. It's going to be Real America's Voice is going to be there. Real America's Voice will be there, and everyone's going to have their phones, and people are going to be streaming it on their own platforms as well. I'm sure a lot of podcasters will be streaming it. Just look out for that. But Real America's Voice apparently or supposedly is going to be there too. So that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. All right, next. Kelly Ray, 19198. At summer camp today, so I'll have to re-listen. Sounds great, Nino. Love you big. Continued prayers for you and your family. Thank you so much. I definitely need them. It's been rough. I'm in the weeds, folks. I am thick in the weeds. Eyeballs deep in quicksand. I'm just telling you that right now. Like I'm on fumes. Kelly Pineski, thank you so much. Thank you, Super Sticker. 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶, do we get General Sent access with lifetime pay? No, that's a different upgrade. That's a whole different, that's VIP. Lifetime pay means you just don't have to pay monthly anymore or yearly. You just one-time payment. You're never bothered again. Big time, 17 ounce. It's going to get ugly, but we voted for the ugly. 100%. You're right. That's what people don't understand. We voted for a guy to roll up his sleeves and get in there and get dirty. I don't understand. Everything needs to be comfortable. Everyone in America needs instant gratification. I get it, but we are in the second American Revolution, American Revolution 2.0. This is what it looks like. And you know what? It could be a lot uglier. I don't know, like the first American Revolution. Would you want to live back then? I don't think so. This is a lot easier, believe me. Carolyn May, I voted for ugly. We love you, Nino. I love you guys too. Thank you. 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗶, phone-free fast breaks need to be set up in houses. Need to be set. I don't even know what that means. Phone-free fast breaks. I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah, just like a break from the phones, like intentional time. Like nobody's on their phone here. The kids, the family have dinner together, no phones allowed or something. Yeah, I agree, 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗶.
So from the article I just read.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. All right, I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Yep, I agree. I totally agree with that. Got to put the phone down. I like to take walks without my phone. I go to the gym. I don't bring my phone. Anytime I'm doing physical activity or whatever, I do not bring my phone. That's not true. Sometimes I do. Damn it, I lied. I brought it the other day. Damn it. Well, sometimes I like to listen to some music on my phone. It sounds good, sounds great. I like to work out to some music, but damn. Yeah, but I still do take my walks when I go to my parents' house. It's about a 3 to 5 mile walk. I go up in the mountains. I go off the beaten path a little bit, see some coyotes, some road runners, and I walk to my parents' house. I don't bring my phone. I could be, I think about it though. I'm like, man, maybe I should bring my phone because I see some cool desert animals. I see some really cool desert animals. I've been seeing a lot of owls lately. This has been tripping me out. A lot of brown owls. I've never seen them so much in my life. I've seen 3 in the last, I think, couple months, which is really weird to me. I haven't seen those in years, and I'm wondering if there's a spiritual meaning behind it. So it's weird. All right, let's get to what the fuck news. Guilty verdict in Oregon. Listen to this, folks. Look how they're trying to take everything away from you. Rainwater falling on your own land doesn't actually belong to you. Okay, it doesn't belong to you. Gary Harrington built 3 reservoirs on his 170-acre property to collect rainwater and snow melt for fire protection, right? Well, the state demanded he drain every drop. All water belongs to us, is what they said. He refused. Okay, he refused this. Then they hit him with 9 misdemeanors, jailed him for 30 days, and fined him more than $15,000. All because they say they own the rain. This is the government claiming ownership over the sky. What's next? Your air, your soil. Actually, yeah, you're right. That is what's coming next if they have their way. See, folks, we're not going to be able to stop this evil. We always have to keep up the fight. They're not quitting. They are not quitting. They want all humanity doomed into slavery and depopulated. That's what they want. When you understand this, it all makes sense. Everything makes sense. Big pharma, politicians, all of it, Hollywood, they all work together for your demise. That's it. I'm sorry. That's not a conspiracy anymore. Years ago, people would say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, Nino. No, I'm not. This is really the reality we're living in. It's fucking demonic. That's where we're at. Sorry. Hate to break the news. All right, folks, I'm out of here. I will see you Friday. Hey, yo, Friday. Alex, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Nino, and thanks everybody out there who joined us live today. We appreciate it. Remind
me never to do a show on Tucker or Candace again. Shit. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll be on Ringside with Nino tonight, Wednesday for an hour, and then I'll leave it for a free-for-all for all of you to jump on and do whatever you want to do. I'm out of here. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the Black Sheep of broadcasting, folks. Peace out later.